Hello, the 2022 gubernatorial elections are less than a year away, and I am going to look at them today and make current predictions on where things are standing right now. So we have already filled in Virginia and New Jersey, who just went to the GOP and the Democrats respectively. So I'm going to continue now by filling in the safe states for both parties, starting with the Republicans. In New England, we do not yet know about whether or not Charlie Baker is going to run for another term, but we assume that Phil Scott and Chris Sununu are going to, so they are in that case safe for the GOP. Now, many states in the middle of the country are also safe GOP, and we're going to fill them in right here. And then the ones that are safe for the Democrats, oh I forgot South Carolina. Safe for the Democrats is Oregon, Hawaii, probably Rhode Island, and probably also California. Now going on to likely states, which there are plenty of. I believe that Iowa is likely for the GOP, as well as Ohio, as well as Florida. I think that New York is likely for the Democrats. Lee Zeldin has announced he is running. He is going to be most likely the Republican candidate, and I think that Massachusetts is likely for Charlie Baker. We will see if he runs for another term. Now, out west, I think Alaska is going to be safe GOP. I think that the state of Texas, we will get back to Texas, but the state of Minnesota, I think, is going to go to the Democrats. Haven't heard too much about any competitiveness there. So now we're going to the leaning states, and I believe that Maine is leaning for the Democrats as well as Connecticut. The Republicans have lost very many, very narrow gubernatorial elections in Connecticut during the last decade or so. And also Maryland, I think, is leaning to the Democrats because Larry Hogan is term limited, Boyd Rutherford is not running, Michael Steele, which is also a former Republican lieutenant governor, is running, but we will see. Democrats are favored at the moment. Over in Texas, that state is just becoming more and more Democratic. I think it's still leaning R with Greg Abbott. We will see if he actually decides to run for another term. I might as well check while I'm here. Oh yeah. Yeah, Greg Abbott is running for another term. Okay, then, well, I'm still going to put it as lean because we don't know. You know what? Screw it. It's likely. It's an R wave here. Republicans will have the initiative. Also, New Mexico and Colorado, I think, will be leaning to the Democrats, and I think that first flip of the night, okay, second after Maryland, but Kansas, I think, will be leaning to the GOP. Now, the first state I'm going to categorize in the battleground is Georgia. Georgia has become more and more Democratic during the last decade or last 2 decades, and now the Republicans in the state are so divided. And you have Vernon Jones, a former Democrat, primarying Brian Kemp. We will see how that goes. I personally think that Kemp is going to win the primary, but then we will see about turnout, if he is able to win re-election or not with so much opposition from Trump. Going over to the Rust Belt, Pennsylvania is an open seat, so Republicans should be favored, but the Democrats have a quite strong candidate in Josh Shapiro. Republicans need a good candidate as well. I think it's going to be Lou Barletta for the moment, and I think that he would win with the national environment being the way it is right now, but we will see. And also Michigan and Wisconsin. There are 2 vulnerable Democrats in those states, and the environment is so much against Democrats now that they will really struggle to hold on. In the state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker is seeking another term, and I haven't seen any strong Republicans really emerge yet. I'm going to put it as lean Democratic because Republicans have been winning gubernatorial elections in Illinois many, many times during, say, the last half century. They have held that governor's office a lot, and they defeated an incumbent in 2014. They won a Senate race in 2010. You never know with Illinois. And then we have the 2 states out west, Nevada and Colorado. No, sorry, Nevada and Arizona, and both of which, of course, are battlegrounds in the 2024 presidential election. In Arizona, I believe that the Democratic nominee is going to be the Secretary of State, which is Katie Hobbs, and I don't think that she's a very strong candidate. I think she has some very controversial statements. While the Republican nominee will be either Matt Salmon or Carrie Lake. I think it's going to be leaning to the Republicans, and Nevada, a battleground. We will see if Joe Lombardo or Dean Heller is the nominee against Steve Sisolak, and if they can put up a good fight. So currently, Republicans at 27, Democrats at 18, and 5 remaining toss-ups, which are of course also presidential election year toss-up. And you can make the argument that California is just likely, but I don't think so. And we will continue to watch this development closely. Anyway, that's all I had for you guys today. Please like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.